Good evening and welcome to the Township Committee meeting of March 2nd, 2021. Ms. Bork, please call the roll.
Committeewoman Erickson. Here. Committeeman Thompson.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Delcor.
Here.
Mayor Lapani.
Here.
Administrator Ferreira.
Here.
Attorney Willard.
Here. Please join me in a salute to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be advised that in accordance with Section 5 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975, the notice of this meeting was made by the posting on the bulletin board at the Hillsborough Township Municipal Complex and by notifying the officially designated newspapers that this special meeting would take place at the Hillsborough Township Municipal Complex at 7 p.m. on March 2nd, 2021. Members of the public may participate in this public meetings in person or via Zoom as posted. At this point, we will take any public comment not on today's agenda. If you have, please raise your hand and will be recognized.
See none.
See none and nothing from the floor. Okay. We'll move on to new business, and new business tonight is the appointment of Township Committee member to fill the unexpired term of Committeewoman Olivia Holmes. 3 names have been provided to the Township Committee by the Democratic Chair as in the process by statute. The names provided were Mr. David Brook, a Ms. Danetta Johnson, and a Mr. Jeffrey Wright. Do we have a nomination to fill this vacancy?
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion, but first I just wanted to compliment Committeewoman Holmes for her service to the Township of Hillsborough. I pray any one of these 3 candidates can live up to the shoes that she filled. I think she did a good job representing her party and also representing Hillsborough Township on the dais. So I don't think, no offense to any of the candidates, I don't think you can hold a candle to Olivia Holmes, but please don't take that as an insult, but more to a credit to what Olivia did when she was serving here in the Township Committee. With that being said, I'd like to make a motion for Mr. Jeffrey Wright to be promoted to the Township Committee due to her vacancy and to fill her unexpired term.
We have a motion for Mr. Jeffrey Wright. Do we have a second?
I will second.
Okay. Any further nominations? Seeing none, I declare the nominations closed. I will now conduct roll call for the selection of Mr. Jeffrey Wright for the fill the vacancy of the committee. Roll call, please.
Committeewoman Erickson.
Yes.
Committeeman Thompson.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Delcor.
A couple of years ago, circumstances were such that we had, I think there's certain responsibilities that people that sit up on the dais have. Very disappointed in the spreading of false information about me and members of the employee base here. I think it was a very poor situation, and I think it does not reflect, especially for the seat that is being filled by for Ms. Holmes, who I think she did a good job, and I find her to be a genuinely nice and caring person. So I just continues to leave a very negative taste in my mouth, given the circumstances of that. So I will vote no.
And Mayor Lapani.
Thank you, Ms. Bork. Obviously, this is a difficult position for us to decide what is the will of the people, since we are obviously voting to put someone in Ms. Holmes' seat without the vote of the population. So we were given 3 names. Our duty is to fill with one of these 3 names. We've had 2 yes votes, and I will make it a 3rd. So with that, the motion passes for Mr. Jeffrey Wright to become the new township committee person to fill Ms. Holmes's seat. So at this point, we would call up Mr. Jeffrey Wright and whoever is going to administer the oath for him. And we will swear him in.
Mayor Assemblyman Fryman is on Zoom and he's going to administer the oath. And Mr. Bill Don Diego is going to hold the Bible for him.
Okay, come on up.
Jeffrey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Congratulations. So let's begin. I state your name.
Hi, Jeffrey Wright.
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
We solemnly swear. Can you repeat that, Roy?
that I will support.
Jeffrey, put your hand on the Bible, please. Left hand. That's okay. There you go. Go ahead, Mr. Fryman.
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
Do solemnly swear to support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear truth, faith, and allegiance to the same
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States and to the governments established in the United States
to the governments established in the United States,
and under the authority of the people,
and under the authority of the people,
so help me God.
so help me God.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
that I will impartially
that I will impartially
and justly perform all the duties of the office of committeeman.
It's fun.
That I will,
So let's
Break that down a little bit.
time, Roy. I can barely hear you.
I'm sorry about the audio here. That I will impartially
That I will impartially
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of the office of committeeman,
all
the duties
all the
of the
duties
office
of the office
of committeeman
of committeeman
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Roy.
Sorry about the audio.
Flip right over here.
It's good here. Thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
Congratulations. Thank you.
So our committee is now whole again. Jeffrey, good luck. As we said, we have some good shoes to fill.
Thank you, and I appreciate that.
Okay. So next on the agenda is our consent agenda. Does anyone wish to take any of these resolutions separately?
I think we should take each one separately, if that's okay, because I think I
Sure.
know people wanted to speak on it.
So our first consent agenda is a resolution supporting the vaccination clinic in Hillsborough Township. So we are essentially submitting a resolution to ask the county and the state to do a COVID vaccination site in our area, our building, to support this lower Somerset County population, to make it ease for people, especially our elderly population, to get someplace close. Do we have any other comments from the dais on this?
Just one, Mayor, as liaison to health, I think this is critically important. If you look at some of the maps, you see that Somerset County is not, in my opinion, not being represented in terms of how many vaccination sites there currently are. I think this is a great opportunity for us to partner with other towns to bring one to South Somerset. So thank you for putting this on the agenda.
Thank you. Committeeman, anyone else?
It's much needed. Spoken with many folks over the last couple of days and the difficulty in trying to find a location outside of this part of the county, especially, for our seniors that it's difficult to travel. So if we can, any push we can provide to get that service more near to our residents, I think is a very worthwhile endeavor, and I fully support it.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, any comments from the floor on this particular consent? You can raise your hand and will be recognized, or anyone in the front. Okay, we have, so we have a motion do we do one at a time then, if we're doing it? to
Right, so
vote?
you're gonna do one at a time, so I need a
Okay.
motion for
So we have a
resolution
motion
number
to
one.
accept resolution number one.
So moved, Mayor.
Again,
I'll second it.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Roll call, please.
Committeewoman Erickson,
Yes.
Committeeman Thompson,
Yes.
Committeeman Wright,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Delcor,
Yes.
and Mayor Lapani.
Yes. Resolution consent number two would be a resolution requesting that the state of New Jersey to advance municipal employees and all educators on the COVID-19 vaccination eligibility designation. So we have a comments in the dais on this particular site or consent.
Yeah, going along with our last, the last consent agenda item that we just moved. I know that Governor Murphy is opening it up, I believe, March 15th for everyone to have more eligibility, including teachers. But I think as we push schools to get reopened as soon as possible, I think this is critical and necessary. So although I appreciate him doing that, I think including municipal employees in there who have been basically on the front lines since the beginning, it's important. So again, thank you for putting this on the agenda, and hopefully the words are heard by Governor Murphy and other people at the state.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anthony?
Just,
Mr. Farrar?
Just Mayor too, I just want to thank you and the committee as well, on behalf of all the employees here, because as you know, we've been open since the first week of July. There's hundreds of residents coming through the building, and we feel that both the teachers and the municipal employees should be on that same list. Our employees are all essential here, providing essential services, so we're disappointed that we weren't on that list as well. Thank you.
Farrar? Anyone else? Okay, any comments from the floor? I see a hand raised, Mr. Steve Beatty. You want to open him up,
Yeah.
please?
Please state your name and address for the record, spelling your last name, please.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
My name is Steve Beatty. I live at the 2191 Arbor Way in Martinsville, New Jersey, and I'm here this evening representing the NJEA. Again, I'm a high school social studies teacher by trade from just up the road in Bridgewater, where I've taught my whole career. But right now, I am currently one of the state officers for the NJEA, representing the 200,000 public members we have for educators, and of course, your members in Hillsborough. And I came tonight to thank you, Mayor Lapani, and all the members of the committee for your diligence on this issue and the cooperation and collaboration that you provided in working with our local, and of course, as President Henry Goodhue and all of our members there, because you recognize the value of these relationships. You recognize the value of what's important when we work together, especially on issues such as this. And I know Committeeman Thompson just mentioned, of course, the governor kind of putting out just a day or so ago, the 15th, but nonetheless, your pressure, the work that you did in talking about this and working with our local is one of the things that led to the governor finally coming to the realization that although we know schools have never closed in terms of the education and the service they provided, we want to make sure that everyone's goal, getting educators, getting all of our kids back into the buildings as soon as possible. And vaccines is a huge part of that. So it's the relationship you have with your education association. It shows you again what we can accomplish when we work together and supportive of your members. I just want to let you know on behalf of the NJEA, our President Marie Bliston, our Vice President Sean Spiller, myself, our thanks to you, Mayor Lapani, and entire council for what you have done to advance the cause of health and education for all of our educators, our students, and of course, the communities and the parents that are involved as well. So thank you on behalf of the NJEA.
Thank you, Mr. Beatty, for your comments. And, Lord hope willing, we will be back in school and back to some sort of normalcy for our kids soon. We have another comment, Mr. Henry Goodhue. Want to promote him, Fred, please?
Again, please state your name and address, spelling your last name, please.
Hi, good evening, Henry Goodhue. I represent the Hillsborough Education Association as well as a proud Hillsborough resident. And I would just like to reiterate the comments that Steve Beatty said. One, to thank Mayor Lapani and the entire committee for taking this action and recognizing that it needs to go further, that we need to represent the access for our municipal employees as well as our school employees, and take into consideration our higher ed employees who may live in Hillsborough and work in our community colleges, and that they need to be added to this list as well. But I also would be remiss if I didn't note that Mayor Lapani and the committee took action on this more than a week ago, that this was a conversation that started where they recognized the need for this before the action was taken by the governor. And as Steve Beatty said prior to me, this was absolutely one of the things that we've seen in coalition building that led to the pressure of educators being added. And I will proudly offer my support in those for the municipal employees to get them the same rights that we should have through this too. So again, I'm very thankful for the collaboration that we have had with the Township Committee throughout the entire pandemic, where committee members, employees, representatives from the Department of Health, from the Office of Emergency Management have all joined with our members. They've faced over 100 of our members on Zoom and answered their questions and spent hours with our members working with them. And that absolutely has been crucial to arm them with the information they need, the facts that they need, and now to assist with arming them with the vaccines that they need so that we can ensure that there is safety and consistency within our schools and keep Hillsborough schools among the best. So I just thank you all for that. And I offer my congratulations to Mr. Jeffrey Wright on his new appointment to the committee, as well as my gratitude to Olivia Holmes for her service. So thank you all.
Mute me. All right. I'm learning. Thank you, Mr. Goodhue. Is there anyone else that'd like to speak on the web? Okay, seeing none. We have a motion to approve consent number 2.
So moved.
Thank you. We have a second.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Committeewoman Erickson,
Yes.
Committeeman Thompson,
Yes.
Committeeman Wright,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Delcourt. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm like slow motion, sorry. It's gonna take me a little while to get used to the new name, sorry. Deputy Mayor Delcourt
Yes.
and Mayor Lapani.
Yes.
Thank you.
So at this point, we've reached the end of our scheduled meeting. We now would have a motion to move to adjournment.
So moved, Mayor.
We have,
Second.
and a second. Any kinds from the dais? Anything from the floor? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Oh, sorry, Committeewoman Erickson. Yes. Committeeman Thompson,
Yes.
Committeeman Wright,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Delcourt,
Yes.
Mayor Lapani.
Much smoother that time. Yes. We are
Yes.
adjourned. It is 7:20. Thank you for all for coming.